Hey all, Cohen here. So I had a bit of spare time, so I thought I would do a video. I don't believe I've done a video since the day before I think I went in for my surgery. So to recap, I went in for surgery on April 29th, I believe. It was a Monday, and I had my right testicle removed because if you go back and watch the video before this, it explains that the testicle was actually trying to push its way out of my scrotum, and my testicle was also had healed into a portion of my scrotum, so I was worried that if it were to try to pop out itself, that it would still be connected inside and I'd have bigger problems, and I also just didn't want to have to deal with it popping out, considering that the surgeon who does my phalloplasty is in Austin, Texas, and I live in Ontario, Canada. So if you want to know any of the ordeal that I went through to have the surgery booked and then thankfully have it done in Hamilton, Ontario, where I reside, then you know everything that I went through. But anyways, I went in on the Monday, and my surgery was scheduled for around like 1:45, I believe. So I got there at 11:30, checked in. They took me to the area where I waited, and I think I slept for a bit. I didn't do too much. Like, they put the IV in to get like the drip ready and everything, and then I think it was like at around 1:30, I think ish, they took me down to the operating room and went over like just the double check of like, hey, what are we doing? And I'm like, we're removing the right testicle and closing my scrotum back up. And it's like, yep, that's what we're doing. So one funny thing that happened was that, so I'm not a big guy. I'm about 5'4", and I weigh like 110 pounds. So they were going to knock me out, and they just said, like, breathe in the oxygen from the mask, and then we're gonna administer the anesthesia, and then you'll just slowly fall asleep. So I'm sitting there, and they're like, okay, like, we're gonna do it now, and I'm, okay. And, like, I'm looking at the ceiling, and I'm feeling where you start to get the lightheadedness that takes over. Like, if you've ever been under anesthesia, and or if you've only been under like once or twice, you might not know what that feels like. But you just get super tired and you just fall asleep. But you start to feel like very drowsy in your head. So I was starting to get that feeling, but I think like almost a minute went by and I was not going out. So then they had to actually use more. So I think maybe because of my size, they did what they normally would, but because I have had so many surgeries in the last about 3 years, just under 3 years, I think that my tolerance is obviously raised. So I don't know, because I've never had an issue in Texas when they've done my surgeries, but maybe because they have done so many of my surgeries, they're aware and they already know that they have to up it. Like, I don't know, nobody ever talks to me about it in that way. Like, I know what I'm, like, that I'm going under and stuff and what they're doing, but I don't know the dose of what they give me or anything, but it just seemed quite odd. And then, so they gave me the second dose, and then I think it was like maybe 15 to 20 seconds later, like, I did drift off, but it took a couple minutes for me to pass out. Then I woke up, and I think I left. I'm trying to remember what time I got home. I want to say it was like sometime at around like 5:30. So after I woke up, I think I was only like in the hospital for maybe under an hour or something like that, maybe. I'm not sure. I probably slept for a few hours, but when I woke up, I wasn't there long, and they had brought me my stuff back, so I changed into my stuff after, and then they took my IV out. So I left my t-shirt up so that my arm was obviously out and they could take the IV out easily enough, but I had gotten myself all dressed. And then I had nothing else to do and I was bored, and those sheets at the hospital are so thin, I had like 3 of them. So I just ended up folding those up and putting them at the end of the bed, and then putting the pillow there too so they could just turf them in the laundry. And they came back and they were like, oh, you cleaned up your room. And I was like, yeah, I really didn't have anything else to do, so I was just kind of bored. But, yeah, it went really well. There wasn't really, like, the pain was nothing. It wasn't a big deal. I was given painkillers, antibiotics, and something for nausea. The antibiotics I took for a week. There were, like, I take them almost every 4 hours, and they were, like, huge horse pills, too, so that was fun. But, yeah, even, like, I finished the medications as I was supposed to, and there wasn't much pain at all. So, as of this past Monday, so this Monday I'll be 2 weeks post-op, but this past week that happened on Tuesday, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday, I think, my stitches, I think it was Tuesday, the stitches that I have, they're dissolvable, and they ended up, like, coming out because they had dissolved, and, like, the incision is closed. So that's all well and good. I don't, knock on wood, I don't have any issues. I don't have any discomfort anymore. It is not actually odd to only have one testicle. Like, I am going to get the other one when I go back to Austin in October. I'm going to get one put back in. But I was kind of worried that I'd feel really weird and be upset about it because I spent all this time going through surgeries, and that was like one of the last things to make it complete. I do have like some little fixes that I'm going for that are nothing big at all, but the testicles were definitely something where, like, before I had to get it removed, I was pretty friggin' upset that I was having to get it removed. And I thought that I would be, like, really bummed out and down until October that I only have one ball. But it's not really a big deal, and I actually don't notice it unless I'm going to the bathroom or whatever, or showering. Everything looks fine. The incision was just, like, a straight incision. There's no, like, waver to it. There's nothing off about it or whatever. So, like, obviously, because there's a testicle on the left side and not on the right, the left side is, like, double the size. But it isn't bothering me. It doesn't bother me. Obviously, my penis hangs in front, so you don't notice either. And the only person that would see that would be me or my wife, so, you know. But at the end of the day, everything went well. I was treated very nicely. I also I don't know what it is, like, I don't like going to doctor's appointments. I don't like having to go to the ER. I don't like healthcare stuff in general. But if I have a booked surgery, I'm completely fine. I'm, like, I walk in, like, smiles and, like, happy and, like, whatever, like, let's get this done type thing. I have, like, it doesn't bother me to go for surgery. I'm not scared of it in any sense. So at the end of the day, like, when I go in, I'm actually in a really good mood when I go in, which, like, I know a lot of people generally are, because especially trans people, what you're going in for is something very specific that you are needing and wanting so badly that you are super pumped. But then there's also usually a lot of people have fear or worry, and I do have some fears and worries obviously going in, but more of my mood and my thought and my actions are very positive. I'm very nice to everybody when I go in. I talk to everybody a lot. You know, I try to be as friendly as possible, and if people ask me questions, then I'm usually as open as I can be. But yeah, so it was really good. I was slightly worried just because it's phalloplasty, you never know. Obviously, like I've said before, there are no surgeons near me that know the ins and outs of my surgery. There are tons of urologists everywhere who could deal with it, but at the end of the day, you just don't know. So that is a little bit of a fear. However, the urologist that did my surgery was part of my bladder stone removal, so they were already familiar with me, so it worked out really well. I'm actually very happy, very pleased. There are some hospitals in Hamilton that I am not at all a fan of. I'm not a fan of Dravinsky, and I'm not a fan of McMaster. St. Joe's, I do very much appreciate St. Joe's. I know that the ER is, like, very sketch, but anytime that I've been to St. Joe's, I've never had an issue, and I generally, like, even if, like, my waits there haven't been that long either when I've gone to St. Joe's. When I've gone to Dravinsky, it's been longer, and everybody there has been extremely rude. I've had my dead name brought up and used somehow, things like that. McMaster just drives me nuts. There's other reasons why I don't like McMaster as well, to do with other health things, but at the end of the day, I'm not a fan of McMaster. I don't appreciate them there, really. And I've only been to the general like once or twice for tests, but I've never had any issues at the general downtown, and that's down like Barton area and like by the jail and stuff. So like, you know, you could think that it would be a really shite place to go for your healthcare maybe, and just not the best area to have a hospital, but at the end of the day, I have not had complaints when I've gone. But I know other people have had different experiences, but that's my personal experiences with the 4 main hospitals that are located within Hamilton. But yeah, so that is what happened. That's, I think, where I'm going to leave it, because I don't really have anything else to say. It was really easy. They went in, they took it out, they stitched me back up, and I got out. I was able to drive, like, the next day. I had, like, almost no discomfort. My stitches are out now, and I'm all good. So, that is it. I will talk to y'all later. I don't know when I'll have a new update next. I have 2 events coming up this month for Pride. They're fundraising events, and then I have Binbrook Pride on June 2nd. So if you do live in the Hamilton area or surrounding, you can come to Binbrook Pride. It's on June 2nd. It's from 12 until 5 p.m., and it will be at the Binbrook Fairgrounds. So hopefully, might see some of you out there. If we haven't met before, it'd be cool to meet, and if we have met, it would be great to see you again. However, I will be super busy because I am head of Pride, so I might only be able to say hello very quickly or catch you when you're leaving or something like that maybe. But yeah, anyways, come check that out. If you also live in the area of Hamilton or surrounding, we do have a talent competition coming up for Binbrook Pride at The Well in Hamilton. It'll be on the 19th of May from 7 until 9 p.m. The winner of the talent competition, whatever you would like to perform, do type thing, winner will get a paid spot performing at Binbrook Pride. So that's something that you don't want to miss. You can check us out on Facebook, and you can check us out on Instagram and shoot us a message, because we would like to get people who would like to sign up to send us their music ahead of time if they can. If not, you can bring it with you. If you are wanting to come just for fun, it's $5 cover, and it will be a great night. Then we have our queer trivia at the Binbrook Grill in Binbrook from 8 until 10:30. Trivia, it's queer trivia, and it will start at 8:30, and then it will go until maybe about like between 9:30 and 10 as far as the trivia goes, and then we'll just be around to like hang out for a little bit longer if anybody wants to hang out. And for that, it's $5 a person, or you can have a team of max 4 people for $15. And the prize for that at the moment is around $400. So that's a pretty good reason to come out and spend $5 on trivia. Just saying. Anyhow, now that I've done promoting Pride, I'll let y'all go, and I will come at you with another video sometime soon, most likely after Pride, but if I have something exciting happen or anything video-worthy happen, then I will upload before June 2nd, but if not, I will talk to you all sometime after June 2nd. I want to wish everybody a happy Pride Month, because if I don't get on here before June 1st, then happy Pride Month. I hope everybody is super stoked, and I know that some Prides do start in May, so happy Pride Month to those who start their Prides in May and those who carry on throughout the summer, because there are so many Prides going on everywhere that now it has to, some of them have to be booked later in the summer, and it's just, summer is like Pride season now, so, which is really cool. I know that not a lot of people like it, but there are so many places around, and there are so many queers and gay people and everybody around that it's just one of those things where it's like, why not? That's why we started Binbrook Pride. We're a little rural community, but we got gay people, we got queers, we got trans people, we got the LGBT2S people, myself. So yeah, it's really awesome, and you know, it really brings something fun to summer for a lot of us. Anyhow, I'm going to let you go there before I say that I'm going to let you go again and then not. So I will see y'all later. Peace.